Hi, my name is Delit. I am going to share my love of cross stitch with you by showing you some magazines that I have. Today I'm going to show you just cross stitch. I have two binders of just cross stitch magazines that I store in plastic covers to keep them nice and make it easy to find the issue of the magazine that I want or the pattern that I'm looking for. And so the first issue that I'm going to share with you is an older issue of Just Cross Stitch from October 1990. And I'm sharing Just Cross Stitch with you because this is my favorite cross stitch magazine. It's my favorite because it contains a lot of designs that I like. I like the style of the design. It's something that I would want to stitch for myself or for someone else. And I also enjoy other things about the magazine, like the articles they write about designers or needlework, stitching. And they just put together a really nice magazine. It's not that expensive, and this is an American magazine. That's not why I like it, but um, it has things in it that appeal to me. So I'm going to start and show you a few things about the magazine. So here's the table of contents. And there are only a couple of pictures to show you the projects in the magazine. This is not the best feature of Just Cross Stitch. Other magazines have pictures of all of the projects in the magazine, which is very nice and handy to look through and quickly decide if this is the magazine that contains a particular project you're looking for, or when you're buying a magazine, do I want to buy this magazine? Do I even want to look at the projects inside the magazine? So, um, another feature of the magazine that I like, I mentioned the special articles. So in this issue, they have one called Bands of Many Colors. And this has information about antique samplers. The project contains motifs from an antique sampler, and so it talks about the kinds of threads people used when they stitched, and it has information about the history of the different stitches. It has a diagram to show you how to complete the stitches that are not cross stitch but are different embroidery stitches. I really like that. This particular magazine, this could have come from the printing, but it could have come from whoever had it before me. I bought it used. And not my favorite thing about buying a used magazine. I showed you I like to keep mine pretty nice, so they normally wouldn't have that happen. When Just Cross Stitch 30 years ago or more recently, their patterns are in black and white. Not my favorite thing about a magazine. So the reason I like Just Cross Stitch is the actual design, not some of the other things about it like that. Now, they often will do a series throughout the year of their issues. They do 6 issues in a year. And so they like to do these Main Street designs where they give you the designs for a couple of the buildings um, in one issue and then a couple of buildings in the next issue. So here you have, here you have the Yarn and Needle Workshop and the Weaver's Workshop. Well, actually, I think it said the button shop, but the button vendor. The button vendor, I think, is this person down here. So they've done a lot of these different kinds of projects over the years. If you like to do that sort of thing, um, then you would need to buy all of the magazines, either have the subscription or go back and buy all the magazines for that year in order to do that project. My favorite designs in this issue are this one called Whitefish Bay. Whitefish Bay is based on a painting that the designer did, and then she created the cross stitch after she had already done the painting. And I just like this sort of scene of a cabin on the water, and so that's the sort of thing I would enjoy stitching. And then my other favorite design in this magazine is a little later in the magazine. They have several designs that are kind of like horse themed. So this is a classic English hunting scene, and I just enjoy the dogs, the horses, and the riders wearing their bright red jackets and their black hats. I might not display it like this in a table because I wouldn't be able to use it as a table. I wouldn't want to set anything on the design. I'd be worried about it having something spilled on it or ruining it in some way. I would probably make it something to hang on the wall or a pillow. And then another thing that I like in Just Cross Stitch, I think they do this in a lot of the magazines, is there's an editorial. And I enjoy reading the editorials. I like to hear what people have to say, what inspires them to cross stitch or to design. Here's another issue of Just Cross Stitch. This is a later issue, although it's still about 12 years old. This is from 2011. If it looks kind of orange or red to you, it's not. Those are pink. They're a very pretty shade of pink, but my walls are peach, and so it might make it have kind of an orange look to it. So in this issue, you can see that even though it's a later issue, they still have the same approach to their table of contents of only showing you a couple of the designs. They still put their designs in black and white. I do like that in other magazines where the designs are in color. But they do still have the editorials, and they have the designer features. This one is really awesome. This lady, Lila's Studio. She has a style. Let me show you some more. She just has a style that really appeals to me. I really like it a lot. I love the alphabet sampler. I love the old-fashioned sampler. I love all the old-fashioned aspects. I love the Dutch. I say Dutch. It's not Dutch. It's Pennsylvania Dutch. But anyhow, the German immigrant style of painting and thing that they did, done in a sampler. I love that these have a translation so you know what it says. And, you know, these are such nice, you could turn that into a wedding sampler easily by taking that out and putting the couple's date in there or down at the bottom. You could even leave a nice phrase at the bottom or in the heart and then put the couple's information. They would also be nice. Some of them could make nice birth samplers. I find the articles where they talk about the designers very interesting, how people got into designing cross-stitch or beginning to cross-stitch or to embroider. Another thing that I really liked in this magazine was this little design. That was nice for giving to your best friend. I have a best friend who gives me things she makes all the time. She is a finisher of projects, not just a beginner like I am. I like to begin projects a little more than finishing them. And this is just a beautiful project in this issue. It's called Spring Pillow. And they often in Just Cross Stitch will do a series of pillows throughout the year. So you would get the entire design for this pillow in this issue of the magazine. And then, so they have their spring pillow, and then they would have a summer pillow and a fall pillow and a winter pillow. And they would match the season. And they are beautiful. All of their pillows are just, I hope there's someone out there who has stitched all the pillows in Just Cross Stitch. I would love to visit their home and see all those beautiful pillows. And you can see they finish them very nicely. So I like to imagine it's someone who sews a little better than I do. And all of their pillows just look perfect. And they have their perfect little rooms where they have them in all their little guest bedrooms and all their sofas and chairs. And they buy them just to have a place to put the pillow. That's what I would do. There was another thing that I really liked that I noticed in here with Just Cross Stitch. Just Cross Stitch has, I don't know how many, but they have made pamphlets from some of their more popular designs in their magazine. And one of the nice things you can do, at least you could 12 years ago, is you can get kits for a project in the magazine where you don't want to have to go and try to find. It's easier to just like call and order the project. Oh, look at how cute this is. That's something I would enjoy stitching. Be nice to give to my niece or to put up in a room in my own home. Now I'm not really seeing where that is. Maybe it was in a different magazine. Anyhow, you can get kits. People know what kits are. So the other issue of Just Cross Stitch that I was going to share with you is one of their ornament issues. Every year they put out their ornament issues. So if you have a subscription, you get that with the subscription. And if you don't, you might be the sort of person who just cross stitches ornaments for Christmas and you don't really cross stitch anything else. It's a nice small project that you can complete and you might enjoy it, or you might my friend might cross stitch ornaments to give people and do several of the same thing. It might be fun to do a tree of just cross stitched ornaments. Have to be a lot better at finishing your projects than I am. Or it would have to be a very small tree for me. So they show you all of the projects right at the front. I love that in this Just Cross. This is a difference between the ornament issue and the other issues of the magazine. So let me show you this one. Okay. That has some really cute ornaments. I would, if I were stitching, if I were actually going to stitch these, there's only two that well, there's really only one that I wouldn't. I would do all of them pretty much. I would definitely do, I would probably do all of these too. When I say probably do them and I haven't done them, it just means I like them. I really like these also. A really good issue of their ornament issue. There are issues where there are ornaments that are less the style that I would use for decorating, and so I don't like them as much, but a lot of times I like a lot of the ornaments. a nice variety of styles. This one probably has a couple more of the ornaments that I would not. I say a couple more, but when I look at it, I think, well, really, there's just one I'm not crazy about. Some really clever and cute designs. Let me show you this one as well. Different shapes and different sizes of ornaments. I love that variety. They have a good mix of religious ornaments and non-religious ornaments. Even not Christmas themed, just more winter themed sometimes. Here's some. So you can see there's a lot of ornaments in an issue of Just Cross Stitch. And when I saw the Blackwork cat, I thought you could do a Blackwork Christmas tree with ornaments that are just Blackwork. I really love that woodpecker and the cat. Here's some more. I have 2 or 3 of their Christmas ornaments issues. And they have several years worth of these magazines. So I guess I have a lot more magazines I could have collected than I have. They also have a nice mix of cross stitch plus other types of needlework like Hardanger. Okay, and then even though it's their Christmas issue, still black patterns, not black and white, not color. Each of the designers has a little blurb where they talk a little bit about Christmas or memories or the recipe that they share. They each share a recipe. They don't usually have recipes in Just Cross Stitch, but they have so many different recipes in here. And because they're designers, they're very fancy about how they do everything. So they use fancy threads that are really expensive, and they use over-dyed or hand-dyed fabrics that cost a lot more money and are really hard to get. But their recipes can be very normal. Here's one for pound cake. I guess it goes on to the next page. Sorry about that. But there's quite a variety of, here's the rest of the recipe. There's quite a variety of different kinds of designers. Designers that are rather more established or have their work more broadly published or sold, or for a long time have or have published books, or they go to they have those cross stitch seminars and different things where you can go and take classes and meet designers and I haven't done it, so I don't really know what all is available there, but they look like fun. They also cost a little bit of money. I never have money, so I've never gone. That's pretty much everything in the Christmas issue. So they do have a little section in the back called Where to Find It. This is from 2007, so it is 16 years old. So I don't know that the email addresses and phone numbers and website addresses are still correct, if some of these people are still designing or even alive. In any case, um, there you go. That's their cross stitch Christmas Ornament magazine, and that is just cross stitch for you. I have 2 binders full of their magazines, and I would love to show you every design in every magazine, but when I tried making a video like that where I went on and on and on, I got tired, and I think you might too. So I hope you will enjoy cross stitching. Maybe this will inspire you to buy a Just Cross Stitch magazine if you haven't. If you have and you love cross stitch like I do and the magazine, maybe it will inspire you to get more of the issues that you don't have. Don't listen to the naysayers who tell you to stop collecting magazines. People who like artwork get books on art, and they never paint a painting that Van Gogh painted or that looks like Van Gogh. They just enjoy looking in their art book. And I enjoy looking in my cross-stitch magazines and patterns. It gives me pleasure and enjoyment, whether I stitch the pattern or not, even if I take a little bit of ambition and get the fabric and the floss colors and I start the project and I put it down and don't finish it, I still got a lot of enjoyment from thinking about it, planning it, beginning it. And for those patterns that I actually finish, sometimes I even finish them enough to give them to people. I really enjoy that too. I enjoy every part of it, and I just think you should try to find joy in life. Cross stitch is a great way to find joy, unless it's too tedious for you, and then you can do what I do and just collect the magazines.